Sabria Simon.
And I'm Renee Champagne.
And you are now listening to Tea Talk on Glass House Radio, part of the Howard University Radio Network. So we're just going to jump right into it. So Kanye West is humbling himself. We're starting to see a different image of him. So according to according to an interview that he had, I think on BBC, he was talking about his interaction with Nicki Minaj, especially on his album Dark Twisted Fantasy. And the song that she guested on, he basically said that, she basically overshadowed him on his album. And this is not a normal Kanye West thing to say. He's not the type to say, she's better than me or I got beat by a girl. So just to hear him kind of saying that, and even moving forward, he was also talking about his mentor who had recently passed away, and he broke down and cried on the interview. So we're starting to see a lot more of a vulnerable side of Kanye. A lot of people are saying maybe Kanye is returning back to old Kanye. Maybe he's a little bit more emotional because of Nori. I don't know. What do you think, Erin?
I think that, I don't know what to think. I personally don't like Kanye. Him saying Nicki overshadowed him. On what song? Monster? What song did she have on that album? Monster? Which had 3 other people on it. So I'm pretty sure other people overshadowed him, like Jay-Z. So
I guess basically her verse is the only
I feel
one.
you can't say she overshadowed you on the whole album based on one song. That means your album was trash. Is that what you're saying to me? Are you saying your album is trash then? Because if one whole bar, whatever, overshadowed your whole album, what does that say about your album? Versus one song,
they
bar.
said My Beautiful Dark Fantasy was one of the best albums in the last 25 years.
So how did she overshadow him over one bar? To me, it's something, I don't know. I don't like Kanye, and I feel I don't know if he really means that statement, because that sounds invalid. If Monster is the song he's talking about, because I'm pretty sure she's not on a bunch of songs on his album. It's probably Monster. Okay, but it had other people on it too. So it's I don't know. I'm not a Kanye fan.
Yeah, he was basically saying that everybody was
talking. He
rubbed
me the wrong way. Even my opinion of him doesn't change just because he cried. Or just because he says Nicki overshadowed him. I don't think he believes that.
He basically was saying that, Nicki's verse was the one that was being talked about more so than his verse. And so that's what he was basically coming from. And I don't know. He said that he's had a piece of humble pie. And so I don't know if that's particularly true. But for what it's worth, he cried on the interview. That doesn't happen.
I guess.
So
people have their days, but my opinion of Kanye doesn't change because he sheds some tears.
Okay. Well, Terrence J and Keisha Knight Pullingham spoke at the White House, and they were basically champions of change. So for HBCUs, advocating for the need of HBCUs and why they decided to go to an HBCU. So do you think that this only happens because we have a black president?
Yes. Because I don't think most Caucasian people know about HBCUs or what an HBCU is. I'm black and I barely knew what HBCU was before junior year. So I think college is very emphasized by the president and most presidents, education in college. But HBCUs specifically, traditionally, I don't think are emphasized by the president.
Well, I think it was a good look. Basically, just to get the knowledge out there that there is a school that, historically black college that teaches about the black history. So I think it was very good for him to even have an event like that, for them to go over there and champion it. Because Terrence J, he went to NCAT, right? And Keisha
went to Spelman.
She went to Spelman. So these are, these are good
Greek
schools.
Too.
And they're both Greek. So basically, it was just. I think it was great. I don't think I've ever read something about it, I think it was good for
a lot
culture.
of Howard students, well, I won't say a lot, a few Howard students attended the event too, which is, I think, very interesting and great that they had a chance to, even though they go to HBCU, still had a chance to see other people that have been to HBCUs and stuff like that.
And they're both successful.
Was on there too, but I don't know if she went to HBCU or not.
They're both successful too. It's not even that these people are not successful. You saw Terrence J come up in the ranks. He was on 106 & Park, which was a very big show, and he was hosting on that show for close to 7 years, for longer than Free and AJ. So, however, right. I forgot how long.
Longest. It's 7 years.
It's
the
7 years, yeah.
Host.
They're him and Roxy. So, just to see him moving up from, working on 106 in Park to E, to doing movies and spots like that. So he's definitely came up in the ranks because he said he graduated from MCAT and he was sleeping on his roommate's couch. So like,
struggle is real. The
struggle was real, and it just basically shows how much you can like climb with the proper dedication. And same thing for Keisha Knight-Palm. You remember her from the Cosby Show, like, you know, she's been in the limelight for a long time, and she's not one of those childhood actors that, you know, are on TV and then don't get their education. So she got her education, you know, she pledged, she did whatever she had to do, and she's still relatively successful. So I definitely think that that's a good sign into where I don't want to say where the country is going, but I think it was good for them to even have that event. I was good that event was even in the works. In other news, Christina Milian. Okay, so Christina Milian, if you didn't already know, you know, she's had a couple of songs here and there. She basically accredited the fact that she's no longer relevant or not, you know, like popping in the music industry due to the birth of her child, whose father is also the Dream. And if you didn't already know, Nicki Minaj and her have some type of little riff. It's not really beef. I wouldn't call it beef. It's a little riff. And basically what happened was Nicki Minaj, you know, came up with the song, and she says pretty on fleek, and Christina Milian is marketing off of that phrase, creating t-shirts and everything like that. So this goes basically back to the Tiana Taylor incident, right?
Yeah. What happened was basically she was selling shirts with pretty on fleek, and then I think Nicki Minaj commented something like,
I better be getting royalty checks or something like that.
Like, hashtag waiting on my checks. But I don't think she meant it seriously, because if it was seriously, I don't think she would have put it on social media. She would have straight been like, where's my point percentage? And then I guess Christina Milian felt some type of way. It was just like, I've been saying on fleek for a while. You really can't own the word, which is true. You really can't own the word. And then after a while, Christina Milian like kind of deleted what she said and was just like, she doesn't know how to perceive tweets. Like, how do you read tweets? Like, you don't know what the tone of a text is. So like I said, I felt like Nicki Minaj was joking when she said it. But I guess Christina Milian thought it was serious. Yeah. But then maybe she thought about it and realized maybe she wasn't serious. So then she was like, there's no beef. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I feel like if Nicki Minaj really wanted money from that t-shirt, she would get the money.
Right. So it did basically say that Nicki Minaj was joking, but Christina Milian, as you said, took it seriously. So she basically said, hey, boo, been saying on fleek and everything for a while now, but I'm not afraid to share. Most showbiz this day is on t-shirts and etc. based on pop culture quotes. That's why it's called Line. And that's why it's called Line, and we are pulp culture. We are homage. More of the homage. I see it pretty often, but if you feel some type of way, stop being greedy. The girl said on fleek, and your girl said on fleek in the first place, and I must be on cloud nine right now. So Nicki Minaj basically went back on Twitter and basically said, there's truth behind every joke. My bad for trying to show love and respect to the situation. Apparently, I should have laughed at you, I guess. So, I basically agree with you. I think that Nicki Minaj thought it was a joke. She basically said something, you know, pretty on fleek. That's a very poppin' song. You know, isn't Beyonce on that song as well? Yeah. So, like, that's a very, like, big song.
Everybody knows, if you see Pretty on Fleek, you're not going to think of Christina Milian.
You're going to think of Beyonce and Nicki Minaj.
Right.
So, basically, it's coined. It's coined, basically, Nicki Minaj, whether she likes it or not. And the fact that Christina Milian took it with shade. People are saying that maybe it's because of the whole Lil Wayne thing. How, you know, like, she was with Lil Wayne for a little bit, and there's a little rift there. But I honestly don't think it's that deep. I just think, basically, she took it too far.
Who, Christina Milian?
Yeah, Christina Milian. Yeah.
I think Christina Milian I think she didn't know how to react to it. And I think that she didn't know how to react to it.
Right.
But moving forward about Monique. Recently, Monique said, first she said she was blackballed by
Lee Daniels.
No, at first she said she was blackballed by Hollywood. Now she's saying she's blackballed by Lee Daniels. And then she also revealed that she was supposed to play Cookie on, well, I feel like, I hate people say supposed to play. You auditioned. How you know you supposed to play it?
She was offered the role.
Like, I hate people say supposed to, because if you were supposed to, you would have played it. Anyway, quote unquote, supposed to play Cookie. And she only got paid $50,000 for Precious, which is really, really low for an actress to be paid.
Especially she got Grammys for that. Oscar, that's what I meant. Sorry.
But I mean, you don't get paid. You get paid before.
Yeah, I know,
but still, $50,000 to act in a production backed by Oprah and Tyler Perry and all that. That's kind of shady.
And a lot of it also came from the fact that they basically wanted her to do promoing for the movie Precious, but that promo would have been for free. She wouldn't have been getting paid for this promo and doing anything. So she said, I'm not doing free promo for this movie. Similar as Kevin Hart, but with Kevin Hart's movie, he gets paid $4 million as opposed to her $50K. Also, she talked about Lee Daniels because she was also supposed to play Forrest Whitaker's wife in The Butler. And she was skipped over for that role. And Lee Daniels said it wasn't because she wasn't talented, but because she was a diva. Because, she was doing just way too much and being way too much. And I can definitely see that because Monique is a big personality. But do you think that she could have done Cookie and Empire? Do you think that it would have worked?
I think if she was Cookie and Empire, Lucius would have had to been somebody else.
Right.
Like, I think Taraji and Terrence Howard's chemistry works together. They worked together before, like, it flows. I feel like she could have played a good Cookie, but it just would have had to been like a different Lucius. And it just would have been a different show. I feel like it would have been different. I feel like, who can't play ghetto? Like of course right. I feel like she would have played a good Cookie.
And she basically also, going back to the blackballing of Hollywood, she basically said that they were giving her these small roles. And she kept turning down the roles because she felt as though, what message am I going to be sending young women out there who want to strive for their dreams, who have been big in business?
You earn your credit. But if you really think about it, Monique has been in the game for a long time. She was a comedian, turned actress, da-da-da-da. But I felt like she probably felt like she deserved better. And at the same time, she also had a late night talk show. So she felt like she was doing big things. So she felt like she should have been getting roles like kind of like a Queen Latifah type of thing.
Right. So basically, a lot of people are saying that she's difficult to work with. She's basically saying that she has to preserve her brand. And she said knowing your self-worth is extremely important. She said, I worked very hard to get where I am today. I look at myself as a brand. And because of that, I will never allow myself to be taken advantage of.
I get it. But then you also has a price. And the price is just not working as much as you want to.
Right. And honestly, that's sad though, because she has a lot to offer to the industry as well. So she, I don't know whether I would, in her instance, if I would particularly settle for a lower, maybe a supporting role. Because if you think about it, is Cookie the main character in Empire?
I would say yes.
You would say that she's the main character in Empire?
Yes.
Because I don't know if she was talking about Empire as one of those roles that would be supporting. But just to recap of what we've been talking about, we basically talking about Kanye giving credit to someone other than himself for a change. Terrence J and Keisha Pollingham are advocate for HBCUs at the White House. Christina Milian and Nicki Minaj have imaginary rifts. And Monique reveals the inside scoop of Empire and Precious. So stay tuned for so much more. I'm Bria Simons.
I'm Marinette Champagne.
And you are listening to Tea Talk on Glass House Radio, part of the Howard University Radio Network.